So yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting review. So Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a film based on a novel of the same name that came out in 1981, and it's a collection of 29 short horror stories for kids. And so the story follows these 4 kids who sneak into an abandoned house that used to be owned by the Bellows. And in that house, they had a daughter who was locked away in a secret room named Sarah. And while Sarah was locked away, she wrote a book of scary stories. And one of the characters, who's played by Zoe Colletti, her character's name is Stella, she finds the book and blah blah blah. Now the stories in the book come to life and blah blah terrorize the town. They have to figure out a way to stop it, blah blah. I don't know if you could tell by me giving the synopsis to this movie, but yeah, this movie got me pretty excited. Yeah, no, this movie was trash. Even from the beginning, the first half hour of the movie, I was sitting in the theater just like, maybe it's because I'm just tired, but I'm kind of bored. And yes, much of it had to do with the actors. Like, yes, congratulations, I'm pretty sure this is the most prominent gig that these actors have gotten. But at the end of the day, and it's not to say they were terrible, I've seen worse actors, but I didn't really like them in these roles. And honestly, I could give 2 shits about their characters. Like, I just didn't feel for them at all. And then on top of that, what was weird to me is this movie takes place in 1968 and it's in a pretty much all-white town. But then it's almost like they had to get their diversity hire in with Michael Garza's character who plays Ramon Morales, and he's like the one brown character in the whole town. And then on top of that, it's not even like he was born and raised in this town. He's not from this town. He just happens to be in this town at the exact moment. And so it almost feels like tokenism, because for the most part, that's exactly what it is. And again, being that it's 1968, there's this one character who's the sheriff of the town. He's kind of suspicious of Ramon and doesn't like him. And I'm thinking, oh, so they're actually going to touch on the racial aspect of it. Nope. There's another reason that he doesn't like Ramon's character that I'm not going to talk about because it's spoilers, but I was like, really? This is why you don't like him? Not because of the obvious fact that it's 1968 and you got this random brown kid in your town? Okay, whatever. All right. Maybe I would have forgiven that if I was actually enjoying the movie by this point, but I was all, like I said, I was already not enjoying the movie and I was already bored. So then when you're bored with a movie, you end up finding other things to pick apart. And that was another thing that I didn't like. But speaking of diversity hires, so another thing that annoyed me in this movie is they introduced some black people into this movie, but not to actually give them character or make them part of the story. No, specifically 2 black women, but the elderly black woman played by Lorraine Toussaint, she's just there to basically explain the magic and lore and give the exposition. Basically, she's the magical Negro. And it's a trope that they do in these movies time and time and time again. And I'm just like, okay, so we're doing this in this movie? All right. Now, not to make this video all negative, I will say there's one, well, maybe 2 good things about this movie that I did enjoy. The designs for the monsters looked pretty great. And it's not coming as any type of surprise because Guillermo del Toro was the producer of this movie and pretty much all of his creatures look fantastic. So there was that. And yes, there was one scene in this movie that I'm not going to say what it is, but it involved a red room. So if you did see this movie, you know what I'm talking about. That made me go, okay, that's a little creepy. I'm a little creeped out a little bit, but that was it. And that was only for one moment. As soon as I got out the theaters, I spoke with a friend of mine and he was just like, well, what did you expect? It's a PG-13 horror movie. So of course it's not going to be that good. And I don't necessarily agree with that because you got movies like The Others, Sixth Sense, Happy Death Day, the first Grudge movie, The Ring, A Quiet Place, and other PG-13 horror movies, and those were great. And on top of that, it's like, yes, I understand this movie is supposed to be for kids, and I'm a grown-ass man watching a movie that's supposed to be for kids, but I would even argue Are You Afraid of the Dark was made for kids, and I can go back and watch episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark and not necessarily be scared, but still enjoy the ride, still enjoy the story, still enjoy the lore and the actors and everything about the whole episode that they're telling. And the same thing with Goosebumps. And I'm not even talking about the books, I'm talking about the show. Goosebumps was great. I enjoyed Goosebumps. I can go back and look at Goosebumps now and still enjoy it. But this shit, trash. Now granted, I'm not necessarily talking about the book. The book could be great. Like, I've seen movies where I really enjoyed the book, but the movie was trash. Like City of Bones, for example. I love the whole Mortal Instruments series. When I saw the City of Bones movie, I was like, this is terrible. But yes, I know I'm in the minority minority because, again, it got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you're watching this video, you're here for my opinion. And I thank you for watching this video, and I hope you like all my videos, and please hit the thumbs up on this video to really help out the channel. But yeah, my specific opinion on this movie and my rating for this movie is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a flop. Like, after I'm done recording and editing this video, I'm gonna go watch an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark to cleanse my palate of this trash. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Do you completely disagree with me, which I'm sure most people probably do, because again, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, or do you actually agree with some of the stuff that I'm saying? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, again, as I mentioned, please hit that thumbs up button and like this video. It'll really help out the channel. And if this is your first time on one of my videos, which will be very interesting, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more, and tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time.